Yo, what is up YouTube? I'm Blitz5 and today's video is about support Shen. So recently you might have seen Shen in the bot lane because he was played in the LCS and is sort of coming back into the League of Legends meta. So I'm a huge fan of Shen in the top lane and I also love playing support, so I figured I would take him down into support lane and share it with you guys. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, take a look at this video and thanks for watching. Alright, so when playing Shen support, you're going to want to start E as your first ability. So not only does E provide you with a dash, but it also gives you a taunt, which is great in the early laning phase. So in my opinion, from the several games I played as Shen support, having this dash and taunt is really powerful from levels 1 to 3, and you can really use it to your advantage to get a kill early on in the game. If you position yourself where you can taunt the enemy ADC, especially if you've already leveled up to 2 before them, or maybe you leveled up to 3 while they're 2, you can kind of dash in, even flash dash to the ADC. If your ADC is in range or in position, they can start getting a lot of auto attacks off while the enemy ADC is stuck attacking you, and then you can exhaust them to pick up an early kill and kind of help snowball the lane. So in this situation, actually, this laning phase wasn't going that well because I had the wrong runes and masteries. So in a second, I'll show you guys what I think you should run and what was more successful for me. But in this one, because I was running regular support masteries, which Shen does not need, he doesn't have mana. So for example, the biscuits here are pretty much pointless for me. Even though they're giving me health, I'm losing some stats with the mana. It kind of just made it harder for me to play in lane, and I wasn't as tanky as I should be. So you'll see once you get these tanky stats, tanky masteries, you can be way more offensive in lane, especially early on, and kind of help get a kill and help snowball your lane, so then you can leave your lane later when you get your ultimate and pick up some kills globally. So here's the Shen support page I made after that initial game. I was using 921 masteries, which is a typical support page, 9 defense, 21 utility, and then I wanted to switch that to putting most of my masteries into the defense page, which I saw online in a couple guides, and I'd highly recommend this because once I did this, I was able to trade in lane and get my ADC a lot of kills. So this is huge, and you're a lot more tankier. And then I think that getting this 5% cooldown reduction is huge with Shen because you can get more ease off, which you're definitely going to want later in the game, and especially early on, you're going to want that cooldown to come up as fast as possible. So basically I went 26 down here. You can do some different variations of this if you want. I saw some people getting the attack damage here, but for Shen, 4 extra attack damage to me isn't really worth it. I'd rather put it into enchanted armor or to get this second win. Basically, 10% to me of spell vamp or self-healing health regen and these 3% armor and magic resist is worth more than just +4 attack damage. So you could take it for what it's worth, and everyone's own opinion, but this is my page, and it worked out pretty successfully, so I hope you guys can use this to your advantage. Even though in this example our laning phase isn't going that well, once Shen hits 6, you can use his ultimate to help out other lanes and give them an advantage. So even though Master Yi here doesn't need me to get the kill, because I was shielding him, I ensured that he didn't die, and I did get an assist, which got me more gold in lane. So right there, Yi had killed Kale, and Kha'Zix was coming in for a retaliation kill. So in my mind, I just wanted to ensure that Yi didn't die, and luckily he was so strong that he was able to kill Kha'Zix. But in the case that he wasn't, I was there to help him, and it ultimately worked out because we didn't lose our tower, and we're already losing lane, so if we did lose our tower, it's not a big deal. We're about to lose it soon, and pretty much me and Vayne have communicated that when I ult, stay back, and in this situation, we want kind of Vayne to stay back and farm once we lose the tower so she can kind of get CS and stay in the game, because obviously Vayne is more of a late game carry, so as long as she isn't dying, giving the other team gold, as you can see, it's 5-1, we're in a pretty good situation here. So here I have an extended clip which shows a lot of the pros of Shen support and how to use this kit effectively to help your team, how to gank, how to use this ultimate. So I figured I'd just let this run and commentate over it. Here, as you can see, we lost our tower. They're pushing on us, but luckily Yi's here and the other team hasn't warded that well. So the first thing you want to do when this gank happens, if you're in this kind of situation, is go to E the ADC. So right here you see I can wait to taunt, and I actually do get Caitlyn before she nets. So then she's stuck auto attacking me. She can't put down any damage, and we're able to get the kill. So right here, you want to always have pretty much map awareness, global map awareness, because Shen is pretty tanky. You can afford to look away from your screen for a second and see what's going on elsewhere. See right there, I wasn't looking, and I ult in on Tryndamere, even though he has his ult on. I still ult him to give him a little extra time and to get right into the fight, maybe take the turret aggro. Unfortunately, it stays on him, but I put myself in danger to hopefully take a couple turret shots to keep him alive. But either way, it was still successful. We get a couple kills and we're allowed to take the mid tower. So this was a perfectly timed rotation. And as you can see, Vayne is still in the bot lane. So this is perfect. And once I see that I'm here already. Shen has, you know, an E as a dash, and obviously if you have flash, it makes him really hard to catch, especially when you're kind of roaming around. That's what makes Shen kind of a great split pusher sometimes in the top lane. So I think you should take advantage of being Shen support and go into the enemy jungle and play some really deep wards, because if shit hits the fan, you have exhaust. Right here I don't have flash, but normally you would have flash, and then you have a dash that you could get over the environment and get away from most attackers. So I think that's a perfect situation. And then right here we have another thing. After I backed and my ult is back up, I'm able to ult Katarina and flash E into Ahri, which is one of the main damage dealers. So if you're going to taunt somebody, you're going to want to be taunting the ADC or the mid player, especially if they're an assassin. Taunting them is great. And obviously just tanking up a ton of damage here. I tanked the Caitlyn ult, a turret shot, and then I'm coming back in the fight because I know any little bit kind of helps. I try to dash, but Kha'Zix flips around, and then just trying to take as much damage as I can, get in front of Kha'Zix, but you know, him going invisible makes it a little harder. But once we're here, there's a great fight. We've kind of totally flipped this game in our favor here, even though me and Vayne were kind of losing the bot lane. All the other lanes are doing really successful now. I had two or three really good ultimates that put us in the situation. And again, I'm just using my advantage of me being in the enemy jungle right now. Although I don't have any summoners, I still have my dash. I know the team is down, so I'm placing some deep wards, and this is all stuff that you should be doing when you're playing support. That is super beneficial for your team. Having these deep wards is huge. This is one of my favorite spots to put pink wards, and as you can see, it's been in the enemy jungle for a really long time. We're in minute 27 here. Going to be taking the drag and pushing advantage, but I wanted to put this clip in to show that, you know, when you are taking the lead, it's important to stop putting wards in your jungle and put them in the enemy jungle, and putting those deep pink wards are really great. That bush that I was showing before is a really great spot because a lot of people check the bush that is next to red instead of that bush behind it, and a lot of times when people are running through the jungle, they might have already clicked their destination or looking around the map. They're not actually looking where they are. So right there you can see Thresh actually went over the ward without noticing. So that could be a sign of a bad player or not. But a lot of times, you know, when you're flustered, you're losing, they're just trying to move around the jungle as quick as possible. They're not really looking down at their screen. They're like looking around the mini map, trying to figure out what the best thing to do is. They're probably trying to communicate with their team. They're trying to group up, and that's the best way to do it. As you can see here, again, placing a lot of wards in the enemy's territory, basically getting a full line of sight to Baron because we're getting ready to do this. I've been trying to communicate to my team that we should be doing this soon. And I'm totally set up. I have an extra pink ward just in case they do take our pink, so I'm fully supported up right now, spending the extra gold, which is huge. If you're going to play support, and especially with Shen, you're going to want to be tanky and provide a lot of vision because he doesn't have the best kit in the world. His E is great, but he doesn't have any form of super reliable CC. It's a really short dash. It's just a taunt. It's not really stopping anyone from doing damage, even though they're doing it to you. And he doesn't have a lot of other stuff. He doesn't have passive stats that benefit the team. He's not a typical support in that manner like Thresh or Blitzcrank. And for that manner, you got to make sure that you keep your vision up as much as possible. And unfortunately right here, I take a lot of damage from Baron. I wanted to make sure that in case anybody threw like an ultimate or Ahri came over, that I was kind of the first line of defense. So I kind of sacrificed myself there, even though I probably didn't need to. But I wanted to put myself... I always try to put myself behind Baron when I'm the tank or support to make sure that, you know, I block any kind of thing that's coming in. So then lastly here, this is for the end of the game. It's a 3v2 after they just took tower, and I ult on Vayne because she's the carry, more important to me. Even though Katarina was able to pick up those 2 kills by herself, I kind of provided some extra support and gave Vayne, you know, made Vayne comfortable to go back in. So because if Katarina didn't have enough damage, we still would have been able to win that team fight. And it's kind of stuff like that that just ensures that you're going to win the fight. Even though it probably wasn't necessary that I was there, having that extra shield, an extra teammate, also bringing me to this part of the map instantaneously ensured that we could win that team fight and win this game. So that's why I like Shen a lot. I always played him in the top lane, especially when he wasn't popular. And now that he's getting some play as support, I think it's really interesting. He's coming back into League of Legends. So I think you guys should try him out. If you haven't played him, he is a lot of fun. Hope you guys can take these recommendations and advice to help you play the game. Thanks for watching, guys. Blitz5, I'm out.